So how do you move beyond someone betraying you? How do you get past someone that you cared about, loved, showed affection for, and trusted betraying you? It's important to understand just 3 things about getting over it, but also only 1 thing about betrayal. Let me give you the 3 things about getting over it first. It is being aware, making a decision, and then acceptance. And I'll get into that in a moment. But first you have to understand that the state of betrayal, and notice I said state of betrayal, existed prior to you being aware of it. Betrayal can only be in one of 2 places. You can either be aware of it or unaware of it, but the state, and I'm going to use the term state and the term condition interchangeably. But the state of betrayal already existed. Here's what that means, is that the person, it doesn't matter whether you're male or female, the person that you had affection for, that you love, that you have an emotional attachment to, used your confidence and your trust in them against you. That's why they were able to betray you. That's why it was able to last however long it lasted before you discovered it. Here's what needs to be done. Now, I have never been betrayed by a female I was in a relationship with, but I had been betrayed by a friend of mine decades ago who I was married at the time, and my marriage was coming to an end. I was trying to save my marriage because I was a nice guy. And I wanted to go to an event to visit him, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second, but let me get back to this. Long story short, I wanted to go to an event that he was the host of. And when he discovered that I was having difficulties with my marriage because we were in the same religion, he's very religious. I've never been a religious person from the perspective of being judgmental, but I've always been a good, solid guy. He called me spiritually weak. He said he didn't want me to be there, didn't want me being in his spaces if I was going to affect the people that were at his event. This was in 2010, and it hurt me. It hurt me so much because I'd already taken the trip with my daughter, looking forward to it, meeting people or seeing people that I hadn't seen since I was 20-something years old, and he rejected it. It hurt. I put it in my journal. Years later, I read that entry in my journal, and I admired the nice, naive guy that I used to be. Now, am I that way now? Absolutely not. But everyone has been through some type of betrayal. Betrayal has a scale on a 1 to 10. 1, 2, 3, or 4 could be emotional betrayal. Someone that you love, care about, has a work boyfriend, a work girlfriend, a gym boyfriend, gym girlfriend, work husband, work wife. It doesn't matter, but betrayal has a scale. It doesn't change the 3 conditions, 3 steps, call it whatever you choose, about getting over betrayal, moving beyond it. It's being aware of it, making a decision, and then accepting it. Here's being aware. Whenever we become aware of being betrayed, it will hurt because the emotional part of the brain is here, your reasoning part of the brain is there. Once you become aware of it, that you don't control. That you can delay it, someone can expose you to it, you can deny it, but sooner or later you become aware of it, fully aware. And then as you become more aware of the extent of the betrayal, you may become angrier or more hurt. They go together. If you hurt, you're going to become angry about it. So the first is aware. You don't control that at all. The second step, the second condition, is your decision. That is absolutely critical. The third, of acceptance, there's 2 components, 2 sides of acceptance. You can voluntarily accept it, which works better, or you can feel forced to accept it. Feeling forced to accept the fact that someone has betrayed you and then deciding to forgive them and stay with them will always work against you. Why? Because we don't like feeling forced to do something. We don't like being taken advantage of. And the protective component of you in your brain, in your heart, will always resent that. It's going to punish you for it. Let me get back to making the decision then. When you decide what to do once you've discovered betrayal, is based on 2 components. It's whether you want to move forward with the person or whether you don't want to move forward with the person. That's the first component. The one element that is critical, that's key to both, is the element of forgiveness. When someone betrays you and you're hurt and crushed by it, eventually for you to really recover, that person has to be forgiven. So the decision to forgive is a decision that needs to be made. But the elements that support that decision to forgive are these. Either you will forgive and let them go, cut them loose, or you forgive and decide to try to rebuild the relationship. Here's the difference between the two. Deciding to rebuild the relationship, it's going to be different for a man versus a woman. Here is the difference. When someone who has betrayed you, you become aware of it, you feel forced to make a decision about it. If it's a female, if she explains, if you're a guy, female, if she begins to explain what happened, why she did it, or any type of not taking full responsibility for it, which is the way it is going to be with most, if you choose to forgive, your emotions, your sense of justice will always punish you. And whatever the reasons were for the betrayal, there'll be emotional reasons usually, or physical reasons. Her sense of justice, now emotion here, but her sense of justice may not respect you because she knows that what she did should have been punishable by the relationship coming to an end. Here's what cheating does when it comes to sexual cheating. It irreparably damages, destroys the state of the relationship prior to the betrayal. You can call it what you want. You can call it cheating, you can call it affair, you can call it, but it does. And if you, in making the decision, understand that the state of your relationship prior to the betrayal, prior to you being aware of it, is permanently destroyed, you can decide two things. You can decide to resurrect it because it's dead, or you can decide to give birth. Here's an expression that I've applied many, many years. It's easier to give birth than it is to resurrect the dead. That's one of your decisions. The other decision is to, as a female, if it's a male, based on the need to forgive. If the male starts talking, if your boyfriend starts talking, and the first thing comes out his mouth is explaining what happened, why he did it, the decision to forgive is usually need to be followed by a decision to cut the relationship off. Because for a man who's truly remorseful, who's truly repentant, will take full responsibility for his decision to use your trust and your confidence against you. Now, what's the basis for you making the decision besides the two things that I just shared with you? It's this. It's understanding that the state of betrayal existed prior to you become aware of it. Therefore, the person has already used your confidence in them, your trust in them, your love, your affection, and your emotions against you. I refer to it as the kiss of Judas. The little example that I shared with me going to New York from Atlanta back in 2010 to go visit my friends, go to an event, to me that was a kiss of Judas, right? Someone knew how much affection I had for them, how soft it was, used it against me. Called me spiritually weak, your life is not together. Now keep in mind, by that time I had been married 20 years. He had been married 8, maybe 9, nowhere near on my level, but it still hurt because he was a friend of mine. In your life, most of you, if not all of us, will experience a kiss of Judas. Sometimes that is it's unavoidable. It's part of your growth. It's not whether you experience it, it's just deciding who in your inner circle may be the person that does that. The kiss of Judas, I'm not going to go into detail about that, but it's being betrayed by an expression of affection. When someone you love, male or female, betrays you, they betrayed you with an expression of affection. They used your affection against you. So once you become aware of it, make a decision based on you're going to forgive and try to rebuild it, or forgive and wash it. Depending on your nature, depending on your makeup, forgiving and washing it is usually the better choice for you. Why? To preserve the great qualities that you put into the relationship that the person abused. That. Accepting. We don't like to feel forced to accept anything. So if you feel forced to accept what someone has done, and usually we feel forced if we're married to the person, we're going to always resent that. We're going to begin to withdraw. For a guy who's betrayed you, what he will need to do voluntarily is to give you his access to his phone, tell you where he's going, who he's with. Those are things that he'll do voluntarily. You don't have to ask him to do that. Those are fruits that I call that befit repentance, that show remorse. But if you don't have that, you have to make a decision about whether you want to be the person who's calling the other girl, that's just horrible. It's not worth doing any of that. So you have to protect your great qualities and then decide whether you want to move forward with that relationship, because they've already used your great qualities against you. It's usually better, depending on your makeup, if you're a genuinely good person, to let that relationship go, to let the person, listen, I forgive you for what you've done, but I cannot stay in this space because I don't want to change, heal from the pain, and then prepare yourself to move forward to someone who's going to deserve your time, your attention, your affection, your confidence, that will work for that will understand where you've been and will not betray that greatness in you because they want it and they value it. Keep that in mind. That's all I want to share for now. Wish you all the blessings and success you deserve.